Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. Today, we are going to give our review of the most-anticipated Forbidden Door pay-per-view that just took place this past Sunday. We're going to be talking about John Cena's 20th anniversary. We're just going to be talking about a whole bunch of other things in the world of wrestling. First, we have not just our wrestling expert, Jacob Mason. His lovely wife, Hannah, is back with us once again. So we have the Mason family. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. How are you, Martin?
Good. Jacob, your wife's back for her second pod ever. How do you feel?
Good. We actually planned this one, and like the last one where it's like, hey, you want to do a podcast? Like 5 minutes before. Yeah, fuck it. She made notes yet.
Oh, that's the dedication. We love it here on the L7C. And then, since it is a big wrestling episode, we got to have the leader of the L7C, the captain, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Ready to talk some wrestling and what's happening at Forbidden Door and what's going to happen at Money in the Bank.
That is true. Let's get into it, man. Forbidden Door just took place this Sunday. It was they had a pre-show, and also it was a 7 to 12. Would you say, Byron? Like a 7 to 12?
Yeah, something like that.
So it was a whole night affair. Obviously, this pay-per-view had big hype, AEW, New Japan. I first just want to ask, I'll ask the Masons, did this pay-per-view live up to the hype?
Yeah, I'd say so, especially for all the shit they dealt with beforehand of literally all the big names getting injured for the most part. Yeah, I thought it lived up to the hype really well.
And
there wasn't one match I didn't like. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was worth the money for sure.
Byron, what do you think?
I definitely enjoyed every single minute of Forbidden Door. Like Hannah said, there wasn't one match that I disliked. I think they all had something great to add to the whole pay-per-view as a whole.
So where do you guys want to start? Do you want to talk about the pre-show? Do you want to talk about the main show? Hannah, this is your choice. Where are we starting?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I even like the pre-show, honestly. I mean, that was posted on YouTube, so we watched that there before we switched over. I thought that was great. I mean, it's up to you guys.
No, we're letting you pick, Hannah. You pick the first match we talk about.
All right, let's do the first match on the main card.
Ooh. The Jericho match?
Yeah.
With Minoru Suzuki.
The 3-on-3. All right. Jacob, take it away. Then Hannah go, and then Byron go. What'd you guys think of this match?
Hannah go. She's a note taker.
Oh, go ahead, Hannah.
All right. So I enjoyed it. I mean, to kick off the match, I don't know. I didn't know much about Wheeler Yuta. But I mean, he was toe to toe in athleticism with Sammy Guevara. I mean, I'm not a huge Sammy Guevara fan, but it's hard to deny that he's really good at what he does. I mean, he's incredibly athletic. Him paired with, the shooting star. It's just fun to watch. I mean, there were so many spots in this match that were fun to watch. There was actually a standing applause rally for all 6 of the wrestlers when they were all on the mat at one point. And I thought that was kind of amazing. Like, it made me want to be there in person to experience that, you know?
I agree. Jacob, what'd you think?
It was a fun match. Minoru Suzuki, anytime he's in it, you're always going to have some sort of strong style spot. And him and Kingston throwing down is just fucking entertaining.
Byron, what'd you think of the match?
I thought it was a good match too. I think Wheeler Yuta, like Hanson, did a really great job. It's probably the first time I've actually seen him wrestle. I liked him a lot. Overall, I think the match was great. The Minoru Suzuki and Chris Jericho and Sammy won. But great spots in that match.
I think it was a good opening. I think it was a great match to start like the main card. Mm-hmm. Like if you're paying with tax 55, wherever you paid it, Bleacher Report, whatever, $50 to $60, you got to start off with something that's going to be high energy, entertaining. And I think it was the perfect 3-on-3 match to start the card. And I was like, all right, We're in for something. Hannah, you want to just go right down? You want to go into the tag title match, or do you want to pick a different match?
No, let's go for it. So we had FTR, and we had the Great O'Con and Jeff Cobb, Trent Beretta. Let's see. So here's the thing about that. Jake has always liked FTR, even in other promotions. And I've kind of been, I don't want to say unimpressed. They haven't made a huge impression on me. I like them, but they didn't stand out to me. This match, I was so absolutely blown away. In fact, with Dax Harwood being taken to the back almost immediately, I didn't know if this injury was legitimate or not, but it turned it into almost a handicap match where Cash Wheeler was just on his own, with the Great O'Con for a little bit. And man, was he giving him a run for his money. Like, I really thought this is not going to be good. Like, I didn't know how you're going to come back from that. But, especially with when Jeff Cobb gets in the ring, he's an absolute unit. He's just throwing Wheeler around. Really entertaining, but it was just almost like, I don't know. I don't want to say an underdog. I kind of expected FTR to pull it off, but when Dax Harwood got taken to the back immediately, I really didn't think that this was going to bode well for Wheeler. And I started, inherently rooting for him. Like, oh my gosh, like he lost his partner immediately. Like, I want to see him kind of rally. But it just, it was just a great match altogether. I also made a note that there were some vicious chops by Trent Beretta that I audibly gasped watching them. That's about all I've got for this one. I was real happy to see FTR win.
Jacob, what'd you think?
Yeah, that match was sweet. That match was a lot of fun. And it was really neat because you didn't know who was going to win. All three teams had really good possibilities of winning, whether it was FTR, Great O'Con and Jeff Cobb representing, was it United Empire? And then you got Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta with Roppongi Vice. Like, anyone can win that. So, like, the whole time you're like, all right, so who's going to win? Who's going to, who's going over? And when they took Dax out of the back, I mean, it turned out that was fake, but no one knew for sure. That was a sweet little angle. And then when he came back, I mean, even taped up, even the post-show press conferences that they do, he was still taped up, acting like it was real. That was awesome. That was so cool. And FTR going over, man, like living legends. They're such a throwback to the 80s, and I love it. It's awesome.
Byron, what'd you think of the match?
I think FTR might be one of the greatest tag teams in the wrestling business right now. I think I have, 3 different promotion belts. This was a great match. Like Jacob said, throwback to the 80s. No flips, just fists, which is a great tagline that they use in NXT before, that all went to shit. But I thought it was a great match. I enjoyed every single minute of it. I didn't know who was going to win at all. I was kind of rooting for Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, like Trent Beretta and the whole best friends stable. So I kind of immediately want to root for those guys. But it was a great match. I'm happy that FTR won.
Yeah, when they won, for me, because I know you said one of the best, I mean, I'll say it. I think they are the best tag team on the planet right now, even just because of mere accomplishments. Like, they've won every place they've been at, from AEW, Lucha Libre, New Japan, Ring of Honor, WWE, multiples. Like, they've won everywhere they've been at. So I think they are the best tag team right now off of accomplishments of this generation. I mean, this generation, you obviously got like New Day and like you have Young Bucks and all that stuff, but I think they're one of the top tag teams I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I'd probably, like, if you're excluding the 80s onward, I think they're a top 10 tag team of all time. And I don't think that's crazy to say.
No, I agree.
Jacob, do you think that's crazy to say?
No, I think you're right. I agree with you. I mean, modern day tag teams, I mean, it really comes down to 4 teams. You have the Bucks.
Yep.
You have FTR. You have New Day. Mm-hmm. And you have the Usos. I mean, yeah. I feel like you 100% have to throw them on the top 10 last season.
Oh, yeah. They're top 10 of all time. They've accomplished everything. But going down to this fatal four-way for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, who I was not a fan that they are making this championship because I thought it was going to be trash. But the match was great. Malachi, Pac, Mirio, Clark. Hannah, what'd you think of this match?
Okay, so I went into this not knowing who Clark Connors was. In fact, when they opened up with the promo, it just sounded like he was reading off the teleprompter. I did not like him out the gate. I'm like, what is this? I even wrote in quotes, Wild Rhino reads a teleprompter. And
God.
Who is Clark Connors? # we want Ishii. So this was my beginning. I'm just like, what is this? Like, I don't know who this is. He just felt like a fill-in. But again, like, this is coming from someone who doesn't know anything about the guy. He started out selling really well. That was the first thing I took note of. I'm like, okay, this kid can sell. I mean, he might be a long-lost Hanson brother. Like, maybe his intro song in the ring should have been Mbop. But aside from all that, the dude can sell. Okay? So then as time goes on, and he starts, what was the spot? I think it was when he put Miro through the table.
Oh, crowd got excited for that.
That is when I think really the pace, the momentum went to his favor and everything kind of changed, because not only did the crowd pop, they were chanting his name. And I was just like, wow, I don't even know how many of these people even know who this guy is. And they're rooting for him like, hardcore. I have here that he was running the show between him, Malachi, and Pac. And honestly, the only other takeaway I had from this, that black mist from Malachi to Miro. I don't know. It was really neat. I want to know where this story is going, because obviously it's going to have to, turn into something down the line. But that was amazing. And Pac's 450 splash was flawless. I was happy with his win.
Jacob, what do you think?
Dude, Clark Connors is the fucking man. He's a fucking legend. Like, I don't think anyone really knew who he was. I mean, he won like the New Japan breakout star thing for their California dojo or some shit, something along those lines. But like, dude is like looking like the New Japan version of like Cameron Grimes, so whatever. I didn't give a shit. I'm like, all right, well, he's obviously like the fall guy. He's whatever. But like, they just kept beating the shit out of him. Everyone was tearing him up. And he really, Pac ended up winning, cool and all that. But the real MVP of this, the whole big storyline, might as well have been freaking Clark Connors. That guy went from nobody to somebody. Because when he put Miro through that table, crowd went nuts. And that, I was popping. I was like, let's go Clark Connors. Like, I'm all about it. I was on the Clark Connors train.
For someone who's been gone for so long, Miro really didn't get the love I thought he was going to get. Maybe that was a me thing, but like when he got put through that table, I was like, oh yeah, dude, they don't want you. They want Clark.
I didn't think that at all. I thought because Miro was taking like the big shots, on Connor. Like, I'm like, oh, like he's got, like Connor's got to do something big to Miro. And it just so happened, like, hey, you just put him through the table and the crowd popped, which I think is exactly what everyone wanted to happen.
I guess. But I just felt like his end, like he didn't get like the pop I thought he was going to get during his entrance compared to others. For someone who's been gone for so long and then to come back, I'm just like, I almost thought he should have won, but no, he didn't. Byron, what'd you think?
I thought it was a great match. Clark Connors is probably the future of whatever promotion he's going to be on. Like you guys said, the crowd popped when he put Miro through a table. I didn't think Miro would be put through a table by a guy that people barely know, but that is one way to get somebody over, have them take out a well-known name. I didn't really have anyone I wanted to win in this match. I'm happy that Pac won. I think he's a great wrestler. Deserves a title because he hasn't had a title in years. But.
Yeah, I was excited when Pac won. I do want to say, I don't think he'll get to this point, but Connor wasn't even supposed to be in the match. So it kind of reminded me, since he was doing so well, and since this just happened a couple of years ago, obviously this person has more experience and all stuff, with Kofi Kingston, when he wasn't supposed to be in that match. And then everyone was like Kofi, and then Kofi Mania started, and we got that at WrestleMania. Maybe AEW seeing this, like, this Clark kid, we might have something here. Let's build, see how far he goes. And if it's something by this time next year, well, he won't be in the title match because CM Punk will be back and that'll be CM Punk versus Moxley. But if he's close to a title match, then they just found a new star.
Yeah, I agree.
He's good. I'd like to see more of him.
Let's go to Jacob's favorite group, the Bullet Club, versus his other favorite group, the Dudes with Attitude. His two favorite groups going at it. You want Hannah to go first or you, Jacob?
I'll go first. And can we just take a moment, just appreciate all that Sting is now? Because he's just a spot fest 63-year-old, and it's one of the greatest shit in wrestling right now.
Yeah, he needs. When I saw him jump off that thing, I'm like, dude, you could die.
Oh yeah, it's still real to me, damn it. That man can legit die. At any moment. Sting is must-watch TV at this point because you don't know if he's going to live or die, but you're going to be entertained either way.
He was also having some big no-selling moments too.
Yeah,
Sting had a couple of fuck-ups. Let's be real.
Oh, he shouldn't be wrestling at 63, but that's a whole other topic.
The man jumped, I don't know, 20 feet onto four people. You know what? My fat ass ain't doing that. So you know what? Good for Sting.
Oh, when he jumped, like I was like on my couch just laying there watching. I was like, oh. And I saw him jump. I was like, all right, I gotta sit up because I might see a funeral soon. Like this is dangerous. And I was sitting there watching. I'm like, I was already thinking. I was like, man, if something happens to Sting and they have to stop this pay-per-view, I have to get everyone on the phone. We have to get in an emergency pod as we speak. Like, dude, Sting's gone, man. And then they're like, oh, yeah, age limit on wrestling for the rest of eternity. But continue on, Jacob.
But, all right, so Dudes with Attitudes might be the worst name ever made.
Terrible.
I don't know who came up with that, but it's god-awful. But it was a good match. It was a fun match. I was sports entertained. I was so sports entertained from this, from Sting's drop to the last bell, including his no selling, including his missed spots. I mean, it was a fun match. I mean, him and was it Hiroki Goto, however the fuck you say his name. That guy, those two going back, like going after El Phantasma. That was awesome. That was fun. It was fun. Hannah, take a look.
Yeah, I've never seen a Jackson match that I didn't like. I mean, Matt and Nick Jackson, and this gimmick they're doing right now, I'm going to be honest, the more douchey it is, the more I like it. And I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but like I'm thoroughly entertained. Like the earrings that Nick Jackson wears, like it is so funny to me, the whole gimmick. And then them doing their whole, like their antics when they were scratching Darby on the back. I was laughing. I was like, this is so amazing. It's so great. But on top of all of that, you know, aside from it from being sports entertained, like Jacob said, I enjoyed the match a lot. And there were other moments, you know, that made me laugh more than, you know, laugh, but also be impressed at the same time, right? Like here's one that wasn't supposed to be taken serious, you know, like Phantasmo trying to twist Sting's nipples, but apparently they're made of steel or Sting doesn't have nipples. Either way, this is his superpower.
I don't think he has nipples.
Yeah, well, that and absorbing, you know, the Jackson super kick, like he no-sold that. And I'm just like, dang, like, you know, there's just some moments like the super kick. I love a good super kick. I'll be honest with you. Like, just, I don't know. It never gets old for me. Maybe it's because I'm still a fan. Maybe one day I'll be like, oh, another super kick, but it's not going to be anytime soon. So I love when the Jacksons, you know, do their choreographed, their super kick party. And so I had a great time watching it. And also Darby Allin, he's young. I mean, Darby Allin's he's already something, but I can't wait to continue to see what Darby Allin does because he's so great to watch. He's so incredibly talented. And I love his gimmick and his persona right now.
Byron, what'd you think?
I was just go off of Jacob. I was sports entertained. I like the Young Bucks. I know a lot of people not a lot of people. I know some people don't really like the Young Bucks, but I think they're a fantastic tag team. I think El Phantasmo fit in well with their gimmick for the Bullet Club. I think it was an overall fantastic match. You know, Sting did no sell some things. But I love a good super kick party. I will always be down for a super kick party wherever it happens in AEW, WWE. Give me some good super kicks now and then. But I enjoyed the match.
Next, we will go to the Women's Championship match. Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's title. Just a couple weeks ago, we said there was only going to be one women's match on this card. We were right. We were wrong because we thought somehow Britt Baker was going to finagle her way into this or win the title. We were wrong on that. Toni Storm goes the challenger. Byron, I'll start with you, man, because, you know, representation matters, all that jazz. Are you okay with only one women's match on this major card?
Like you said, I think we all knew it was going to be either one or two. It ended up being one. I think they could have had more. I know Tony Khan did try to work with Stardom, but like most of their people were booked in like travel issues. So I think they could have put another, like maybe a number one contenders match for the AEW Women's World Championship after on there, but it's not much you could do. Like if you're, promotion Stardom can't make it.
Jacob, Hannah, what do you guys think about just one women match on this major card?
I mean, it didn't faze me at all, to be honest. I mean, with New Japan, they don't have a women's division, and with Stardom being unavailable, it was kind of self-explanatory. I was fine with it. I feel like AEW does a pretty decent job trying to give the women opportunities on their cards, for regular pay-per-views. And with this being Forbidden Door, directly related to New Japan, I wasn't upset about it.
Jacob?
I'm okay with it. It is what it is. We called it a couple weeks ago. Of course, you couldn't understand a fucking thing I said during that podcast, but that's your
No, it wasn't that one. It was last one Hannah was on. You could understand you. We said it on that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, the one I said two podcasts ago where you could understand me. We called it. We said it. I mean, maybe they could have thrown Jade Cargill on the show or something, but it wasn't necessary.
I mean,
not
she's
really.
money. She's money though, but no.
She's money, but that whole card was. I just think that card was excellent, and honestly, Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa put on a great match. I mean, for the one women's match you put on that card, I didn't have any complaints about it, to be honest with you.
I will say, Thunder, when it comes to pay-per-views, her ring gear, like when she presentation-wise, she puts in a lot of work. I like that with the champ coming out in special stuff during championship pay-per-view matches.
Agreed.
But no, I agree with you guys. I do feel the match was really good for the one women's match they had. And I was just like, man, I didn't know if Tony was going to work some magic and be like, oh, we're going to have this other match. Or like, I almost thought they were going to do a champ versus champ match promotion wise, like having Rosa go against like Jordan Grace or something like that. I was thinking outside of the freaking box. Because I was like, how can they make this one women's match like really pop out to us? Because this match was in between the Bullet Club and Dudes with Attitude and then Orange and Cassidy, which a lot of people say it was a match of the night. So it's like, you got to make an impression. And I think they did good. I think Thunder will keep that title until Baker's like, all right, time to give it up.
But
probably
they are building up Thunder Rosa though.
They are, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah,
that's what we need. I'm glad that title's not a hot potato title.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Not yet. We all bitch about AEW's women division and how they can always do better. At least they're trying to keep their champions like looking strong.
That's true. I guess Jacob, on the flip side, on hot potato, it can't really be a hot potato because who could they pass it to?
That's true.
It's a double. Byron tried to. I thought you were about to think of some names. I was like, dude.
I was trying. I was gonna say Ruby
Tay. I like Ruby, but now she's done.
Yeah.
Tay ain't. No, not Tay.
Oh, fuck. Put it on Tay.
No,
Holy
stop.
shit.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, the heat.
The fucking heelness right now.
Oh,
That's
no.
true.
Fucking to the moon.
No. Ever since when Sammy had that title and Tay posted that picture, he's like, oh, we were in bed with the title. You don't want to know what got on it. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, in her defense, Shawn Michaels did the same thing.
In 19-something, not 2022.
Who cares? I don't care about the year.
I'm
You
with
don't
you,
care,
like,
but the sponsors care.
I mean, whatever.
What? Anyway,
Like-
shout out to the women. Great match.
Oh.
But I want Byron to go first on this one because this was Byron's match of the night. I know for a fact. Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP US title. Byron, go ahead.
But yes, this match was my favorite match of the night. Only for the fact because I did not think this match would go that hard. Because like Orange Cassidy, his gimmick is like being lazy and whatever. He's over with the crowd. But this man, when he wants to work, he can work. Oh my God, this match was amazing. Of course, Will Ospreay is Will Ospreay. I know like a lot of people are like, oh, why is Will Ospreay going against Orange Cassidy? It's not like a premier match for Will Ospreay, but man, it changed my mind about Orange Cassidy. I want this man to go to the moon. There's this one spot where like Will Ospreay did like 4 high flying spots in like 4 to 10 seconds, and it was amazing. Orange Cassidy had a couple near falls where he could have won. I was on the edge of my seat watching this match. It was so good. Like I would watch this match for eternity.
I agree. And I would say also too, which I was going to say this in the next match. Well, not the next match, 2 matches from now with like Okada. There's a lot of people. This is their first time seeing a lot of these people on their TV on like a normal time zone time. Because if you wanted to watch them live, you had to do the time difference, see if you had the channel or watch it on YouTube. So for a lot of people going to the event and watching on pay-per-view, it was their first time seeing some of these people. Like my wife, she'd come down, she's like, who's that? Who's that? Never heard of him. Never heard of him. I was like, well, he works across on the other side of the world. She's like, oh, well, that's nice that they get to perform in front of people who don't get the chance to see them. And I feel like Ospreay's one of them. But good points on you, Byron. The Masons, what do you guys think of this match? Was it the match of the night for y'all?
For me, absolutely 1000%. I was really looking forward to seeing Will Ospreay live because as the point that you just made, I don't think I have ever seen a live Will Ospreay match. I've only ever seen clips afterwards, after the fact. And I am a huge Will Ospreay fan. I mean, I think he's one of the best in the world, hands down. And he's still so young and he still has so many more years ahead of him. But he's just absolutely incredible. And, spot after spot, move after move, he is so athletic. It's like nothing phases him. But yeah, I really think that he brought out a caliber that Orange Cassidy has had, obviously, but like hasn't really shown us before. He brought that out of him, and that match was just, I was on the edge of my seat. It was nerve-wracking. It was breathtaking. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of Will Ospreay. But yeah, match of the night for me, 1000%. I could watch any Will Ospreay match and just be totally in awe. So I very much enjoyed it.
I think it's what Stone Cold used to say, and he still says, man, you get the right dance partner with somebody and you see them go like the full potential come out. And like Byron says, like, oh yeah, orangey, blah, blah, blah. And then he saw him with Will and he's like, oh, so this is what the real Orange Cassidy can do when you get him with someone that they click with. But to go to Jacob, I think a long time ago, when me and Jacob like first started talking about wrestling, he told me, he's like, hey, you need to watch this Will Ospreay. I think it was against Ricochet.
Yeah.
Jacob's like, hey, you need to watch this Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. It's on YouTube, full thing. And it was like when I was first talking to Jacob about wrestling, I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And when I first saw it, I was like, whoa. So then you start doing the deep dive, you start checking out like, all right, what matches and blah, blah. And you start watching all the Will stuff, Ricochet stuff. So Jacob was the one who introduced me to Will all so long ago, too. That match was NXT was still on the WWE network when that was happening. But Jacob, what'd you think of the match, man?
Oh, it was a banger. It's an absolute banger. Orange Cassidy's turned it on a few times in AEW. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like when Finn Balor puts on like the demon.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when to crank it up. And when he does if he cranks it up every time, like it's not going to be as impactful. So when he does, everyone's like, oh shit, Orange Cassidy. Like, yeah, Orange Cassidy's a shit. And his gimmick's awesome. And it works out just flawlessly. This match was a banger. Wasn't my favorite match of the night. But it was an absolute banger. Loved it.
We're just going to stick with Jacob on the next one because Jacob is going to be insufferable and tell us how he was right. So go ahead.
No, I didn't. I don't think I called that.
No, you called Zack Sabre Jr. versus someone special coming to AEW. So go ahead, man, because you said Mr. Swiss Superman was not coming back to WWE. He was going to AEW.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was right about that. You're fucking right. Hell yeah. I told y'all. I'm rarely wrong. I was wrong with the Cody thing. I've only been wrong a couple times in my life. I just happened to be wrong with the Cody thing. It turns out your boy was right once again. Fucking Cesaro is not going back to WWE. Claudio, however the fuck you say his last name, whatever the fuck, is going to fucking AEW. That was cool the whole time though, because like we were guessing, we're like, man, who's it going to be? Is it going to be? I thought it was going to be Jonathan Gresham because they were saying like, oh, technical this, technical that. I'm like, well, fucking no one's more technical than Jonathan Gresham, who's Ring of Honor World Champion, by the way, for those who don't know. But yeah, fucking Cesaro shows up. I popped. I think the world popped. Everyone was happy to see him. And it's going to be very interesting. I mean, he's in what is essentially the top faction, top group in AEW. So, I don't know. It was a cool match. I mean, it was a great match. Those two they wrestled. They did everything. Cesaro's swing came back. Everyone was happy about it. Neutralizer right off the rip. It was good.
So does anyone want to add anything to Jacob's stuff, or should we just leave it be since Jacob was right?
I will add that I really thought this was about to be a squash match when Cesaro came out, hit him with a neutralizer. I was like, oh, dang, it was really over for Zack Sabre Jr. But no, it was a good match. I definitely popped when Cesaro's music hit. I was like, oh, shit, Cesaro in the AEW. I thought he was going to go back to WWE. Selfishly, I wanted him to go back to WWE, but you know what? I'm happy for him. He gets to wrestle again.
Anna, do you want to add anything?
No, I mean, I would just kind of mirror what Byron and Jacob said. It looked like he was happy to be there. I mean, how could you not be? But just kind of looking at him, he looked like he was just in his element. And I mean, I'm just excited to see him doing something different on a different stage. I guess doing the same thing, but better on a different stage because, new opportunity.
The only thing I would want to add to that is just the fact that all wrestlers from all different promotions were showing him love on social media that he was like finally wrestling again. So it shows how liked and respected he's been at WWE or any promotion that he's been at. Next match after that, you had White versus Cole versus Page versus Okada for the IWGP World Title. I'm not gonna lie, this was the match I was most excited for the most because of seeing Okada at 8 p.m. Well, this wasn't 8 p.m. It was probably like 10 something. But seeing him live, not on tape delay, for the very first time in my entire life, and that crowd when they saw him, they went crazy as well. And I also want to say the cool thing about having the American ring announcer do their names, then the Japanese ring announcer do their names. That was really sweet as well. But this was the one I was looking for. Jacob, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about this match?
All right, so we're going to talk about the match, and then we'll talk about the ending. So I feel like that's two separate entities almost. Match itself, fucking banger. Absolute banger. I'm with you. This is what I was excited for because I didn't know how it was going to play out. I was like, man, they're going to have Jay White drop the title in America again to Okada, like they did in the G1 Classic in MSG years ago. Were they going to take a chance and actually put an American with the New Japan title? I didn't know how it was going to be because however this match went, I thought was going to dictate the following match. So no, it was awesome. It was fun. It was good. It was hard hitting. Everyone got their spots in. Everything looked good up until the ending. The ending was so fucking confusing.
It was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
So for those who do not know, Adam Cole got a concussion from Okada.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently when Okada, I'm not saying once heard anything, correct me if I'm wrong here, but when Okada threw his flying elbow off the top rope, he hit Adam Cole in the head and gave him a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
And went to their spots of when Okada's going for the Ripcord Rainmaker and all that stuff. Adam Cole just like falls. Doesn't get hit, just falls. And Switchblade Jay White comes in, hits him with his finisher, which is Blade Runner. Thank you. Hits him with Blade Runner. And then pins Adam Cole, who didn't get hit with any finishers. But Jay White looked pissed at the end. He looked really pissed off. And I was like, something went very wrong, very badly. Something's obviously very wrong here. But Jay White goes over. So up until the ending, it was fucking awesome. I mean, it was awesome.
I think all four men had great interactions with each other. It was hard hitting and, it was nonstop. I think the crowd was, I'm sure that the people who were actually there, they had to have known at least a little bit about the New Japan wrestlers, right? Like when they had Will Ospreay, for instance, on AEW prior to the Forbidden Door, I didn't feel as though they introduced him or maybe gave a good background for people who didn't know who he was. So I popped really hard, but I was wondering how many people in the crowd really know who these people are. So for Forbidden Door, I'm assuming that a majority of them know who, Okada is. And I'm wondering if that is why the reactions were so great because they already knew who he was, or they were just so impressed with seeing him in person. But up until the finish, I thought it was fantastic. I know that at that finish, Jake and I both kind of looked at each other and were like, something's wrong here. Like, I don't think that's how this was supposed to end.
Byron, what'd you think before I say something else?
Overall, I thought the match was great. Actually, the reason why I wanted to buy Forbidden Door was because I wanted to see Okada wrestle live because, I've seen his matches on YouTube and all that, but, that doesn't give you that live experience and crowd reaction. So this is why I wanted to buy Forbidden Door. I thought the match was great. Everyone looked good. Great match up until the ending. I definitely didn't know Adam Cole had a concussion. I thought, because I knew he had a shoulder injury, so I just thought his shoulder was messing up, but that, being concussed does explain the ending so much better. But outside of that, great match. Jay White definitely looked pissed because he literally just sprinted down to the exit. But I'd watch this match again.
It's funny too. When I went into this match and they announced Hangman Page, I instantly got pissed. The reason I got pissed because a couple of weeks ago, how I was bitching about it, because he should have been in the main event of this damn fucking show. So I was sitting there, I was like, I was like, ain't no way he's gonna win. No way. So then he doesn't win. I'm like, all right, whatever. Jay White retains. And then I got mad again because I'm like, Hangman Page literally lost this fucking title and is not in the main event for the damn title. I was like, where the hell do they do this shit at? But then match was great, but I'm over here trying to just defend my man Hangman Page because he deserves his title back, damn it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, but did you notice Adam Page had the quietest reaction out of all the entrances?
Yeah, that kind of well, I knew he wasn't going to get a bigger one than Okada. Adam Cole has Adam Cole, baby. Jay White, I was like, damn, Jay White even had a bigger. That did surprise me. It did.
That one surprised you too, and I know you're a big Adam Page fan. I'm a big Adam Page fan.
Mm-hmm.
Almost kind of made me feel I was almost kind of sad about that. I'm like, dude, that whole crowd should be just chanting cowboy shit nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this motherfucker didn't carry you for the. Oh, I'm sorry to get mad again. We lose the
better.
We lose the title one time, and then we're chopped liver. And then to Mr. Khan, dude, John Moxley scored this high on the ratings, so that's why he's the number one contender. Okay, he's just who had the belt last? Okay, not John Moxley. Hangman. Okay,
Hangman.
But he's fourth on the contenders list. How do you go from holding the title to fourth? That math is terrible.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. That's worse than WWE logic.
That's when Khan was having
UFC booking or UFC rankings.
Oh Jesus! I mean that shit don't make sense either. Sometimes UFC is hey, if we have you fighting this main title fight, are you going to test positive for something? No. All right, you're in. Just saying, but man, let's go to the main event. Moxley versus Takanashi. I'm not gonna lie. This match I was not excited for because it was a foregone formality who was going to win this match. Like they would have shocked the wrestling world if Moxley would have lost, but ain't no way he was going to lose.
True.
But Byron, what did you think of this match? I felt like the exciting stuff happened after the match.
Yeah, this match was a match. Definitely knew John Moxley was going to win because they're setting up John Moxley versus whenever CM Punk comes back from rehabbing and all that. I thought it was a good match. John Moxley got bloody as hell. I think Tanahashi hit him with the elbow and broke his skin, but he was bleeding for like half of the match, or a lot of blood loss. Excellent performance. There were some moments I thought Tanahashi was going to win. I thought he's a great performer. It was my first time seeing him live or seeing him wrestle at all. I thought he put on a great performance. John Moxley is amazing. Big John Moxley fan. So I liked the match. Probably not my favorite of the match the other night, but it was a good match.
Jacob, Hannah, anything you want to add to this match? I don't know if you guys saw the brawl with like Jericho's crew and then Cesaro coming out and all that, and Moxley all bloodied up. If you've seen those clips.
So yeah, for the listeners, we may or may not have already passed out when this match, as soon as the other match ended. We may or may not have just been asleep on our couch.
I was very tired, but I will say this. I feel like John Moxley, his personal goal every time he steps into that ring is to draw blood, whether it be his own, usually his own, or someone else's. And I think he takes a lot of pride in that, just like throwing his body, into whatever he can get it to, get himself to bleed. But damn, does he put on a good show. And we didn't see as much of it as I would have liked to, but it just, if he wouldn't have won, I would have been shocked. So the outcome didn't surprise me.
Yeah. So when I woke up from my little nappetizer I had there, I woke up to John Moxley like in the corner with the title, bloodied as hell, and then I seen the aftermath of the Jericho Appreciation Society showing up, and then the Blackpool Combat Club showing up, and Cesaro showing up, and all that stuff, and all that wildness, and then the Eddie Kingston and Cesaro shit that was happening. That was good time. So yeah.
Oh, I guess we should start calling him Claudio though. Don't want to be good old JR. Yeah, because since JR was calling him Cesaro during AEW television on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
He does get a pass. He's allowed to do whatever the hell he wants, but
Right.
So I guess so what would you rate this pay-per-view? Like what would you guys rate it?
I would give it a 9.
Okay.
Give it a 8.5.
Oh, okay.
I would say a 9. And I mean, solely for the purpose of I got to see people that I've seen on YouTube live for the first time. And I just thought that was such a neat experience for me. To see them in our country, in our time zone, having matches in real life, in real time with AEW wrestlers. I just thought that was so neat. So that would substantiate a 9 for me.
I agree with you, Hannah, that the fact that 90% of the majority of these fans never seen these people like on our time zone, all of that. So this chance was great. And obviously, too, the venue. I mean, anytime you do a big wrestling show in Chicago, it's going to be special, especially if the people deliver. I really enjoyed this Forbidden Door. I don't know. Well, we'll see if it becomes a yearly thing. But no, man, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So we're going to jump around, though, a little bit. So jumping then to WWE, this Saturday, Money in the Bank is taking place. And we're just going to talk about the briefcase matches. We're not going to talk about any of the other matches because the other matches are foregone conclusions. So here at the L7C, we always ask the question, who needs to win a match and who's going to win a match? Those are two completely different things. So, Byron.
Yes.
Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. You got Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel, Asuka, Shotzi, Becky Lynch. I'm first asking you, who needs to win this match?
Liv Morgan, 100%.
Why is that?
Because she's been over with the crowd for like maybe a year and a half to 2 years. Definitely should have beat Becky at Royal Rumble. Big Becky stan. We all know this. Even I think she should have lost at Royal Rumble. So she has been red hot for the last couple of months. We even said last year she needed to win and she didn't. So this year she needs to win.
Jacob, who needs to win?
Liv Morgan needs to win. Or Lacey Evans. She's got to pay for Ric Flair's kid.
Jesus.
I wasn't
Never forget.
I wasn't going to
forever.
I wasn't going to say the Ric Flair's kid thing, but I was going to say that's a good point because before she got pregnant, she was going to win the title. That's a good point.
Yeah, honestly, either one of them need to win.
Okay.
But definitely Liv because I want to see Liv.
Hannah, who needs to win?
Oh, I agree. Liv Morgan is the obvious choice for me, but with Lacey Evans coming back after her pregnancy, I mean, I could see where if they had Lacey Evans win, where that would make sense, and I would be really excited for that. I don't know. I guess between those two women, I can't think of anyone else who really needs the win. I feel like the way that they're booking Becky right now, they need to kind of continue the path that she's on because eventually she's going to break and something is going to evolve out of this. And I don't think it's time yet, for this train to stop. So I'm thinking it's going to be who needs it more is going to be either Liv or Lacey to just propel them one step further.
To be honest, I don't even know why Becky's in the match. I get for star power, but she's going to get the one-on-one match of Money at SummerSlam. 100%. She's getting that match. So, but I get it for the star power. I mean, I'm with you guys. Liv Morgan needs to win. Like, we've been championing this girl for the past year and a half. She's been on a hot streak. I thought New Year's Day was going to be the one. I thought Columbus. Like, she needs to win this match, especially if you want a huge, huge pop. Liv Morgan winning and the chance that one day she could become champ, that's what needs to happen. But now the real question, Jacob, who's going to win Money in the Bank for the women?
Honestly, I think it's I think it's going to be Liv. I do think Liv's going to be the one to win it because Becky doesn't need it. Asuka doesn't need it. Fucking Blandy McBlanderson doesn't need it.
She won't win. This was just her and Shotzi are out. They will not win.
Yeah, they're not going to win. They don't need to win. They have no reason to win. It literally comes down to Liv and Lacey.
What about Alexa?
Fuck, I forgot.
That's how you could reestablish her because remember, we've bitched for almost a year about like she was winning titles and then they just say, all right, F you, you're out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm sticking with Liv. Liv needs to win it and she's gonna win it. Sticking with Liv.
Hannah, who's going to win?
Listen, WWE booking, there's, everything's made up and the points don't matter. So I don't know. I could see them putting Alexa Bliss over just for the simple fact that, we are going to try something different with her because we're always, well, not recently, but they did the whole thing with her and Bray Wyatt. They're always pushing her into something. She's always, aside from when it was always Sasha Bailey, Charlotte. I feel like, and I'm not a huge Alexa Bliss fan. Maybe I should make that known. Alexa Bliss is whatever. I don't think that she is as talented as people make her out to be. And
her husband has her in the top 10 women of all time. I think we all did.
It's just my personal opinion. I'm not an Alexa Bliss fan. So
doesn't like Alexa Bliss because I think she's friggin' gorgeous.
First of all, that's an entirely separate issue.
What is happening?
Second of all, she's just not that great of a wrestler. She's not believable to me. Like I don't know. It's just one of those things where like I'm not as convinced when I see her in the ring with somebody like, I don't know, Charlotte. I mean, I might not really even like Charlotte all that much, but she's more believable to me with what she does in the ring and her influence and, everything else over other women. Now, Alexa Bliss, my favorite role with her was with the Bray Wyatt angle. So with them bringing her back, and I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do with her at this point. I mean, does anyone really know? Like, I could see them putting her over just to like change the course of her storyline a little bit and give her other opportunities. But WWE logic, if they want to put over Lacey or Liv, I'm here for that. That's what I would prefer. But do I think it's going to happen? No, because I'm usually disappointed by a WWE result. So, fingers crossed and hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah, by the time you guys probably listen to this, we'll probably already be like reviewing how pissed we are because so-and-so won Money in the Bank. So make sure you listen to this and the Money in the Bank review back to back when it happens. It's probably going to happen. So Byron, who's going to win?
I have no idea. This is like the Royal Rumble for me. Like, I don't know what WWE is thinking. I got real nervous when Becky was added to the match because they love Becky. But I don't, like Hannah said, I don't think it's time for her to win the title yet or be in a title match yet. I think she still needs to go through this downward spiral, which she's been doing great at. My favorite moment was from this past Monday when John Cena was walking around and she was just sitting on a little crate thing, just solemnly clapping for his return, which I thought was amazing.
Hey, Fabe.
Yes. But I am going to say that Alexa Bliss is going to win it. It's just a shot in the dark.
Well, I want Liv to win. We all want Liv to win. But Ric Flair's baby mom is going to win. Lacey Evans is going to win Money in the Bank.
So happy you finally acknowledged her.
I try, man.
Acknowledge her for who she is, Ric Flair's baby mama.
I mean, she left to have his kid if we're keeping the storyline going.
That storyline will never die in the L7C.
God.
It'd be crazy, though. Tie back into a couple podcasts ago when we were talking about Bray Wyatt's cryptic tweets.
Mm-hmm.
What if Alexa Bliss was at the top of the ladder, no one's around, lights go out, he comes back on, and it's the Fiend. He just falls off. That'd be, as much as I don't want to see Bray Wyatt back in the WWE, holy shit, that'd be sweet.
That'd be kind of crazy because the Money in the Bank that I saw live in 2015 when we got to the men's, Roman was about to win and Bray was feuding with him and the lights turned off. Bray came, effed up Roman, and then Sheamus freaking won, which that was terrible. But but speaking of that, let's go to the dudes. We got Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Omos, Sami Zayn, Riddle, and to be determined. Jacob, I'm going to start with you first. Who needs to win for the men?
Is the last person just a straight up mystery opponent?
Yep.
Fuck, is it Bray?
People are, we're going to this other topic. Byron brought the point it might be Logan Paul.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, so who needs it?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Sami Zayn winning it would be a lot of fun. Matt Riddle winning it would be awesome. Fucking Omos doesn't need it. I can't stand him. Seth has been carrying the company though, so I could see him actually winning it too. I don't know. Sami Zayn needs to win it. I'll say it. We're going with that.
Okay. Hannah, who needs to win?
Agreed. Sami Zayn. I think that he needs the win more than any of those other men that are currently billed to have the match.
And he's in the bloodline too, so you know.
Dude, no. That is a funny storyline.
Something. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's still in the bloodline.
That is funny. It is a funny storyline. It's a funny storyline. Yeah. It's great. Byron, who needs to win?
I think who needs to win is between Sammy and Riddle.
Okay.
Because Riddle just came off that loss to the tribal chief. Well, I can't even think of his name because he hasn't been there in a while. Roman Reigns on a random Fridays night SmackDown. So I think he needs to win to get back in the title picture because he can't challenge Roman anymore for the title while Roman has a title, which will probably be for another 10 years. Sami Zayn hasn't really won anything in a while. I think the last thing he won was an Intercontinental Championship last year for like 2 weeks. So Sami Zayn or Matt Riddle need to win.
I agree. I think Sami Zayn. Riddle's on a little hot streak. I think Sami Zayn needs to win. That would add so much dynamic to him being in the bloodline with the briefcase. Like, I'll never cash in on you guys. And then they always have to watch their back. But now, Byron, who's going to win?
Seth doesn't need to win, but he's probably going to win because he has been red hot this last year. Royal Rumble, Mind Games, the whole Cody Rhodes trilogy was amazing. So he's been red hot, so I think they're going to give him the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Anna, who's going to win?
I agree with that. I think that Seth Rollins, for me, would make the most sense. And I'd be okay with it. He is red hot right now, and I couldn't see it being Omos. I couldn't see it. Yeah, I don't know. None of the other ones. I guess Riddle would make sense to me, but I think it's going to be
Jacob. Who's going to win?
So we have a couple different options here, depending on how you want to look at this. So, like with your point, if Sammy wins, that'd be a hilarious storyline because you have to ask yourself, whoever wins the Money in the Bank, are they actually going to beat Roman? And the only logical person I think that could do that, if you actually want them to go after the big titles, is Seth Rollins. But, and I say this every year we do a Money in the Bank preview, they need to change this up. Someone needs to cash in on the IC, the American, or the tag titles. And that would make them more relevant. So if you want to go down that route, dude, throw it to once again Sammy, I'd say, or Riddle. Let him cash in on a mid card or a tag title. I think that'd be so fucking cool. I'd pop hard for that. But yeah, it's gonna be Seth.
I think my only caution for that is because the last time they changed something up when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble and then challenged for the NXT title, and then Rhea Ripley died. So that'd be my only cause. That's my only cause for concern. But I agree with you. But last time I saw someone switch it up, Charlotte ended Rhea's career for the time being.
I think if it was anybody else, that would have made sense. But it's a fact that it's Charlotte Flair that it made no sense.
And that she won on a tap out.
Right.
All right. And I hate Charlotte. Everyone knows I hate Charlotte. I'm not a fan. But let's talk about a couple of the facts here. One, Rhea's visa stuff was all fucked up. So she had to go back to Australia. True. And two, they were about to go to live TV. You want a big name for live TV.
That's
Charlotte
true.
Name. So as much as I hated it, and I hated it, as much as you guys, looking back, I understand it better now.
That's true. I agree. And I get mad at it just because of thinking about it in that sense without knowing all that stuff. It also helped too that Charlotte was literally on every single show. Like she went to SmackDown, Raw, and NXT when she was NXT champ every week. So she was doing her job. But my thing, I think Seth's gonna win. I think he's a smart betting person. I should have brought up the Vegas odds, but I think Drew could win so he could do the whole chivalry thing, like, oh, I don't have this match, blah, blah, blah. Now it's official. You can't run for me, Roman. You, me, and that London pay-per-view. I'm cashing in there in front of my home crowd, blah, blah, blah. And then he takes 2 spears and loses. But I mean, it is what. But I think Seth's gonna win. I don't even think To Be Determined has any shot unless this person is. Unless it's that changes everything if it's a big name. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be Seth. And Seth, like Jacob, you said it, and Hannah, you said it too. If Seth wins, I could actually believe he could cash in successfully. For all we know, he might relive history, and he might cash in that. He might cash in a SummerSlam with Brock and Roman. He might do it all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be wild.
That'd be storyline over because God, bro, nobody wants to see Brock Lesnar versus freaking Roman Reigns in a no holds barred for the 18th time when you already know the result.
Brock, it's different.
I was gonna say this is a new variation of Brock that I'm okay with. I'm okay with watching.
So if we're doing the new variations, that means we're on match 2, which means they're at least gonna get 2 more since we're doing Cowboy Brock, which I like. I wanted him to win at WrestleMania.
Same.
That I can't believe I'm in a time where Brock Lesnar comes to work more than Roman Reigns. I cannot believe I am in that time. This is
but who's a heel and who's a face?
Dude, but Brock Lesnar was
Brock is definitely the face.
He is
exactly. He's coming to work more than Roman.
Dude, he's the only heel. Oh my God, we are not about to give these 2 the only heels that don't have to come to work. All the other heels come to fucking work.
Does it piss you off?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Seth freaking Rollins is a heel, and he walked up. He's like, "Hey, John, remember when I broke your nose?" Like, dude, who starts a conversation like that? I'm just like, all the other heels come to work. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it pisses you off that specific heel Rip doesn't show up to work.
No, it pisses me off that he has 2 titles and doesn't come to work. There's a difference.
Right.
Yeah, but you're still pissed off. He's doing his job.
I wasn't this mad about Brock because he only had 1 title. He only had 1 title. I'm just saying.
I just like annoying you at this point with it.
It's not. No, it's just the fact that, like Hannah eloquently stated the first time, it's the fact that Roman has 2. If he only had 1, I really wouldn't give a shit because I already know what it's like. But it's the fact that he doesn't come to work. Ronda barely comes to work. I already know Ronda time up. In a couple of weeks when Charlotte comes back and takes that title from her, at least I know she'll be gone. But
will she though?
Ooh. Bro, when Charlotte comes
Ronda.
back, she's beating.
Oh,
Ronda. Yeah. That's easy money. We're going to be so close to our prediction. She is going to be at 16 titles by the end of this year. We are like 2 away.
I know it's true. I don't want it to be true.
Ain't nothing we can do about it, man.
I know.
I just need to, when that happens, we need to just go through our L7C wrestling archives, cut that snippet out to show everyone we predicted this way before Meltzer and all them other clowns said it.
This week on YouTube Shorts.
Wasn't it a while back? Didn't Sasha Banks have a promo with Charlotte saying something like, 14-time world champion, that means you've lost the belt 13 times or something like that? I don't remember how she said it. But it made me laugh though, because I'm just like, you can sit here and like, I'm going to be a 16-time, champion. Like, wow, that's real impressive considering it means you've lost it 15 times. Like, I don't know, when you look at it that way, And
she's never had a long reign. That's the crazy thing too. She's never had like a year reign. No, her reigns have been like short.
Yeah, give me one long reign and I'll be more impressed with that than losing your belt 15 times and just getting it back.
And she's been cashed in on 3 times.
Well, it's easy to cash in on the queen. She's the queen. She always has a damn thing.
That's true.
But let's go to before I know what we're going to end on, but let's go to Logan Paul signing officially with WWE. I was kind of shocked. It's been a crazy day, but Jacob, So what will you say if Logan Paul comes to work more than Roman Reigns?
I'll laugh. I'll laugh my ass off.
He's a heel. He ain't no good guy.
Technically, he'll come in as a face if he faces off with Miz, I would think, because Miz turned on him at Mania.
That's true. That's true.
So they're going to run it where Miz is going to be heel, but really the crowd's going to back him. It's going to be one of those, you're the heel, you're the face, but really it's kind of flip-flop type deal because people aren't going to want to see Logan Paul win. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out, but I imagine they're going to push him as a face starting out.
Anna, did you care about Logan Paul signing?
Oh, I had so many thoughts. Honestly, I don't like the Paul brothers. I think that, and I don't know, it's just me. I just don't have any respect for them, honestly. Like, I feel like they found a way to make money, like, good on them, but I don't think anything that they do is, like, real. I don't know. I how did I say it earlier? We were just talking about this. I don't think that anything that they do is genuine, or I don't think that they're decent people, and I think everything they do is for money and for views. And that's my personal opinion on them. Now, watching Logan wrestle at Mania, like, as much as it pains me to say this, I was so impressed. I was absolutely blown away by, like, what he did in the ring at WrestleMania, considering, you know, he was the celebrity, one of the celebrity, you know, appearances. So will I, you know, do I think that he's going to be a good addition, like, talent-wise? Probably. But am I going to hate every minute of seeing his face and when he opens his mouth? Like, absolutely. I'm just not a fan.
My biggest thing is whose spots he taking? What full-time talent's getting sent to the back?
Or my opinion, when I said to Jake, I said, how many more budget cuts? Like, who's getting budget cutted this time for the Logan Paul signing? Like,
God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not cheap. And I immediately thought, oh, how many more people that we like are going to be future endeavored?
That's a really good point, Hannah. That's a really good point because you're like you said, he ain't going to be cheap, and this always happens. Every big signing, someone gets dropped or they get sent to the catering to never be seen from again. Byron, what'd you think?
I was shocked because I know rumor-wise he was supposed to come back at SummerSlam and face Miz, so I thought it was going to be like a one-off deal like WrestleMania was. I did not expect him to sign a contract. I would really love to know, like, how long the contract is, you know, how much money it is. So I can't wait for those details to come out. But I definitely was shocked. I did not have this on my bingo board of wrestling for the year.
Well, WrestleMania Hollywood calling it right now, Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny.
I'd be okay with that. Bad Bunny put on a hell of a show. Like, yeah, that would be something I'm interested in as well.
That's what's coming. One more thing before we go to the last stuff. Jacob and Hannah, I don't know if you saw this, but Bianca Belair was getting interviewed by Sports Illustrated, and they were asking stuff about professional wrestling. And Bianca Belair, who the L7C loves her here, she was just telling everyone, put respect on wrestlers' names. You know, there's some people who still think they're not athletes in any way. And Bianca's like, I'm going out there doing 450 flips, bench pressing literally other humans, squatting other humans. I'm doing all these athletic things. I ran college track and I'm doing all this other stuff in wrestling. And we have to do this 300 something, you know, the same stuff, 300 something days a year. Put some respect on wrestlers' names. We're athletes, we're actors, we're entertainers, we're spokesmen and women, all that. Put respect on wrestlers' names. So I just want to give a shout out to Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champ, sticking up for all the wrestlers out there with the many roles that they have to do every single day.
I agree. I respect on wrestlers' names because there's stuff they do I know I personally can't do, like do a 450 splash off the top rope, miss, and get back up to do another move. I can't do that. Or my favorite move, the Spanish fly off the top rope. I can't do that. So definitely put respect on their name. They're athletes, entertainers. They have to follow scripts, or they're actors. I definitely agree with what Bianca is saying.
And they're live most of the time. There's no cuts. And hell, you talk about like another sport, which I do love, basketball, the NBA. People sit out for rest days. Cody Rose just wrestled 30 plus minutes with a torn pec.
And put on a hell of a match.
Like, so, yeah. Jacob, Hannah, anything you wanted to add to Bianca telling the world to put respect on wrestlers' names?
No, it's good shit. I mean, glad she said it. It's real. Like, yes, we know the outcomes are scripted, but that being said, everything in the ring is still real. You're still doing shit.
Yeah.
My fat ass ain't doing that.
Listen, those bumps are real. Like, just because the outcome is predetermined doesn't make them any less of an athlete. Like, you know, if you give your full attention to just one match, you know, a women's match, you can see that, you know, they put their heart and soul into this. Like, maybe not everyone is athletic maybe as Bianca Belair. You know, she did the college track, she did powerlifting. I think that's how Mark Henry discovered her was but God, she's fantastic. But, you know, all of those women, they work their asses off to be able to be at the caliber that they are. And that's not including, you know, everything they have to do on the back end with the promos, you know, with being in front of the camera, with their lifestyle, you know, in order to maintain their physique. Like, there's just a lot that goes into it that if anyone doesn't consider them an athlete, I don't understand where that, you know, how you would come up with an argument for that.
Right. And the last thing for the pod for today, 2 anniversaries actually, which changed the course of wrestling from 2000 and in the late 2000s. This day, well, actually, June 27th, now 11 years ago, the CM Punk Pipebomb, which obviously changed everything forever. We talk about pipe bombs and promos. Probably the best pipe promo we've heard in the 2010s is like adults. Well, yeah, I guess we were all adults by then. 2000, close, yeah, close enough, close. So obviously a big day in wrestling. Then obviously this past Raw, the 20th anniversary of John Cena's debut to the day. I mean, it was kind of, all the reports are like, oh, morale is back because John Cena is coming, or the place is sold out, or things like that. And then while obviously I said this last year, and Jacob and Byron were on when I told John Cena not to think about coming back because he's going to save these clowns and give them all this money, and which he did. But I was like, man, Vince is sitting there. I hope he's not using my goat's money to pay for that fucking secretary. I was really thinking about it.
No.
I was really thinking about that. So I was just like, you better not be using John Cena's proceeds to pay that other girl's salary. Oh, I was getting mad. But man, it was a monumental occasion. Everyone came out, everyone saw him, everyone giving him love. It shows how much WWE loves John Cena because they reached out to Khan to get Bryan Danielson, Jericho, and Big Show's video on it, which Stephanie McMahon asking anyone for favors like that is out of the ordinary. So, but for this guy, news meant a lot. So, Byron, what'd you think of the anniversaries of the Pipe Bomb and Ruthless Aggression?
Like you said, the CM Punk Pipe Bomb is one of my favorites. I watch that every once in a while. I definitely forgot to watch it on the anniversary. So after this podcast, I'm definitely going to have to watch it again because it's just amazing. I think my favorite part is probably now because I hate Vince is when he ripped into the McMahon family. Probably my favorite part of that promo. But overall, it was an excellent promo. And just seeing John Cena slumped in the corner after a match. Who was the match against?
It was against I think it was R-Truth, and CM Punk came and put him through a table.
Yeah, so just excellent moment just captured. So amazing. And then John Cena, he was one of my favorite growing up, still one of my favorites. Just an excellent performer, 20 years going strong as John. Layfield likes to say big match John Cena. He puts on a hell of a matches. I think that Royal Rumble match with him and AJ Styles is probably one of my favorite match. And then that match with him and CM Punk is probably my top 2 John Cena matches. And it was great to see him come back, interact with the current wrestlers, put a lot of people over, the Street Profits, Austin Theory, just to name a few. So I think it was great. And I texted this in our group chat. Like those 4, John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, and Brock Lesnar all had their 20-year anniversary this year. And only like 2 of them got like big celebrations. So Randy Orton and John Cena were the only 2 that got like big celebrations. Like I forgot that Batista and Brock's 20 year was this year because WWE really didn't do anything for them.
Yeah, well, Brock, he wouldn't do shit. He wouldn't want that shit. And Batista was probably like, nah, I'm a movie star. But Jacob, what do you think about the anniversary of the Pipe Bomb and Cena's debut?
Pipe Bomb's awesome. Still one of the greatest promos of all time. You can make an argument for it being the absolute greatest too. Which is kind of funny when you bring up like, yeah, John Cena had a match with R-Truth right before that. Like R-Truth was a main eventer at one point. Like, wait, what?
Well, remember, R-Truth was the main event of the pay-per-view where Cena told the world Bin Laden died. That's how I found out Bin Laden was killed. From John Cena. I'm sitting here watching the pay-per-view and he's like, oh, I've just been told that we've taken out Osama Bin Laden. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get the alerts from I'm like, holy shit, John Cena killed Bin Laden.
I'd say like my biggest takeaway from the Monday night thing though was Vince McMahon coming out and saying that John Cena is the greatest of all time. Which,
first of all, that little fucker should not have been out there. His scandal having ass taken away from my guy's fucking moment. That actually pissed me off.
Oh my God, you are fucking crazy right now because I swear to God, I want to see Vince come out every show right now. And I want him to come out and say something so fucking random like, hey, t-shirts are on sale, buy one, get one. I want to see some random shit like that. Are you fucking kidding me? Vince McMahon is ratings right now.
Dude, leave it to Vince to be a heel in his own like personal situation.
Yeah, I know. It was like, oh, I'm in trouble, so now I want to come on TV more. That's crazy. But continue on, Jacob.
Dude, that shit's fucking hilarious. Like, only Vince McMahon can do that. If you think about it, there's only one man on the planet who can do it. That's Vince. That being said, yeah, John Cena, 20 years. And it's crazy to think like how much I absolutely hated John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely go the rest of my life without seeing another Cena versus Orton match, and it still would be too many. Holy fuck. Yeah, John Cena once again comes back, saves the company. He's fucking Vince McMahon's favorite. That's about it.
I don't think he's his favorite. I still think it's Dwayne. Well, it used to be Hogan till his racism came out, so that died.
It's John Cena. John Cena, I think, is 100% his favorite. He likes John Cena more than he likes his own son, for God's sake.
He likes a lot of people more than he likes Shane. Not Triple H, but Shane.
I still think Taker is probably his absolute favorite.
I think Taker, because I don't think Vince isn't going to induct John Cena. It's going to be Kurt. It's going to be Kurt Angle.
Is it?
John Cena inducted Kurt.
Yeah,
I could see Vince inducting Cena.
No way. He didn't even. Well, the only two he's inducted. I think he inducted Austin.
Yeah,
and I know he did Taker. I watched the shit live, but nah, dude, it's gonna be Kurt Angle, man. Kurt Angle was hot at Vince that he wouldn't let Cena be his retirement match. That's why Kurt Angle's never coming back.
Dumb. All for Constable Baron Corbin.
That's fucking terrible. But Hannah, what do you think about the anniversaries of CM Punk's Pipe Bomb, John Cena's debut? Like, what do you think?
Well, funny enough, I didn't get to see any of this live. I mean, I only got into wrestling several years ago when Jacob got into it. So for me, it wasn't as much of a nostalgic thing, I think, as for everyone else. But, I can definitely appreciate, the milestone both of these things have reached. And I've always been a John Cena fan. I mean, when we would go to a live match, and this was several years ago when, John Cena would be on the card, you'd have the whole crowd chanting, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. And it was just amazing, how many people, some people were chanting them both. They were just all about it. So Cena, just the way that he captivates people is amazing. And, the way that he speaks, I don't know. He's fun to listen to. He's fun to watch. I think it's cool. I was always okay with him being a part-timer. I feel like even when I started watching a few years ago, it never bothered me because anytime he would come around, he was always just so good. I was always so excited to see Cena. Now, Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, up until Cowboy Lesnar, I did not like Brock Lesnar being a part-timer. He didn't do anything for me. now, Cowboy Lesnar, he's fine. He can be a part-timer. He can do whatever he wants.
Because when you came into wrestling, you came in right where there was literally, it was like Seth Rollins, John Cena, AJ Styles, Okada on the debate on who was the best wrestler on the planet. Because you came in during like US Open Challenge, John Cena, didn't you?
It was like 2016.
So like literally, so him and AJ Styles is feud.
Yeah. And so I from what I did get to see, I loved it. I mean, I didn't get to see all the beginnings of John Cena. What was his
Thugonomics.
Yeah.
Doctor of Thugonomics.
When he smacked Stephanie McMahon's ass. Oh my God. They do that shit now. They'd be canceling the show.
I know. I missed all of that. So like obviously when the network was still a thing, we would look back on previous episodes and watch things like that. And I'm just like, wow, like I've always known who, even when you're not a wrestling fan, like as a kid or growing up, everyone knew who John Cena was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who John Cena was. I just didn't understand his impact. I didn't understand like, what he could do in the ring and what he could do on the mic. Like not until I started to really watch wrestling and then look at these old clips. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And I mean, part of me wishes I would have been a fan and like watching when he debuted, but wasn't meant to be. So
no,
here I am now.
Here you are now. No, it's kind of crazy when you think about it because I mean, when he did go like part-time, because when he got on top, he was 10 years on top, every show, every live event, every signing, all that jazz. And there's been a lot of YouTubers and people say that wrestling won't have another megastar like that ever again. And hell, me and Jacob have talked about this on the podcast. It's like, are we ever going to have another larger than life wrestling like persona ever again? And we're still debating.
I still think they will. 100%.
It's a matter of who.
I don't think it'll be for a while though.
Yeah, it won't be for a while, but Roman will be your next top megastar.
Byron's just like, I mean, I'm biased because, John Cena comes to work every day. Roman doesn't while he's on top. It's okay, though.
I mean, and Roman's promos have gotten a little bit better ever since,
he got with Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's not. I would never, he couldn't go with John Cena. I mean, hell, there was a couple of promos between Roman and John Cena.
Oh, God.
And John Cena absolutely destroyed him.
Oh my God. It wasn't even close. It hurt. I was almost embarrassed. I had secondhand embarrassment for Roman. And I'm thinking, I hope that they wrote this way and like that, and he's meant to look stupid because if not, that's really bad. He looks so bad.
Well, no, because Cena, like when the first person ever come at The Rock like that, when they were feuding, he's like, hey, nice tattoo. I don't like write my promos on my wrist. And The Rock wrote his promo. I was like, oh my God. And then Rock was like seething. And then like with Roman, the 2017 one where he's like, dude, it's called a promo. If you want to be the big dog, gotta learn how to do it. It's only taking you 4 years. Hell, I was watching the SummerSlam one today. And I forgot that John Cena said, dude, you ruined everything. You almost ruined Seth Rollins. You're the reason Dean Ambrose isn't in WWE. I was like, holy shit. I didn't realize he brought up Dean leaving when he was feuding with Roman.
Yeah.
I was like, what do they call Dean? John now? And that's because of you. I was like, oh my God. Okay. But no, I think it's funny too how Vince has gone away from like the indie darling stuff because that they're the ones who like unlock the full wrestling John Cena, like the CM Punks, the Daniel Bryans, the AJ Styles. He had his best matches of his life against those type of wrestlers. Those were his best matches. Like he worked best with those type of people, and obviously US champ Cena and all that jazz, but it all worked out. I mean, 20 years, he says he'll be back eventually. So whenever stock's going down, Vince is going to make that plea. So for him to come back. And then the Punk pipe bomb, man. I mean, the fact that his face was getting redder and redder each line he said. And the fact that just coincidentally, he was in a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. He shouted out Colt Cabana when you weren't supposed to do that type of stuff. He brought up Brock Lesnar. He brought up
Brought up New Japan.
Yeah, brought up New Japan when you weren't supposed to do that stuff. Like those are monumental days in history. It also looks like it's the anniversary. That same day is the anniversary of Seth Rollins debuting. Which
a lot of anniversaries.
a lot of crazy things. Can't wait for SummerSlam when John Cena puts over Austin Theory.
You know it's happening.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And then Austin's going to win the Royal Rumble in 2 years.
Will Roman still be champ?
now?
And no, because Jacob, Rock's going to win this year.
Oh, I thought Cody was going to win this year.
No, Jacob's staying with The Rock. I think Cody's going to win if he comes back. But Jacob's got to stick with it. Rock, Roman, biggest WrestleMania night 2, which night 2 needs to stop being asked, by the way. This night 2 shit has been, night 1 just needs to be the only night. Night 2 can go home and be on Raw.
Well, I mean, is there any reason aside from ticket sales? Obviously, it's money. I think they realized, we can sell tickets for two different days for the same event, like double the money. But honestly, like I liked it better when it was all one big long card. Like that's, it felt more like WrestleMania to me than it does just splitting it in half, especially when your second night can't even come close to what the first night did.
Yeah, it's been
I just
trash.
don't. The booking doesn't make sense to me.
It has been trash, but all right. Anything else before we close, guys? We got a lot done today.
I think we covered all the major stuff.
All right. When we come back next time, we'll be complaining about who won Money in the Bank.
Sounds about it.
And maybe
Sounds about what our reviews are about.
and maybe we'll have it'll be a weird time because we'll be coming back saying who won Money in the Bank and also previewing SummerSlam because Money in the Bank starts this month and SummerSlam ends this month, which means, man, Jacob's going to be busy. But with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Thank you, Jacob, Byron, and Hannah for coming back on the pod. We do like having Mrs. Mason on the wrestling pod. It gives a new insight to the world of wrestling. Make sure you like, rate, comment, subscribe. Let us know who you think is going to win Money in the Bank. And who you think now, when we go for Money in the Bank, by the time you listen to this, who's going to win at SummerSlam? We know Roman's beating Brock, but will there be a cash-in? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, everyone, and take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.